I'm a husband, I'm a dad, I'm Barber, and I referee NCAA Division I men's basketball.
Being a referee can be described as one of the most difficult jobs. Is this statement true? Where does most of the pressure come from in refereeing?
I mean, that's self-inflicted, self-imposed pressure.
Have you ever missed an obvious call and immediately know, okay, well, that one might have been a bit off right from as soon as you call it? Has that ever happened to you?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, having the awareness of that and to be able to go to the coach and go, "You're absolutely right," or yeah, just straight up, "Yeah, I missed that one."
Ever had to break up a fight on the court?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Two teams. This was in the TBT tournament. You play for $1 million or $2 million. Teams, and they're all alumni. It's like a pro-am. But I mean, we had guys get after it. Right.
Is there ever a concern for your safety?
If I go referee a Division II game and I mess that game up, that clip is going to be shared with this referee. It's going to be shared with that referee. Yeah. It's going to get around. So you just can't take anything for granted, and you just go do your job and do the best of your ability, no matter what level.
Biggest difference between Division I and Division II. What is the difference that you see immediately between the two?
There's a size difference.
Yeah.
There's a depth difference. There's still stuff that's ahead that things that I'd like to continue to build on and get an opportunity to do. Hopefully there are many more years of refereeing at the Division I level.
But Brian, I often say this to anyone who is in a position who I aspire to be like or aspire to be in, and someone who I also have a lot of respect for. I ask them first, I prefer to call you by Mr., your last name, than your first name. But it's up to you whether, Brian or Mr. McNutt, which one do you prefer?
You can keep it very casual. Brian
Brian?
Yeah, definitely.
I appreciate that. So, let's start with who you are, what you do, and what you value most. Those 3 questions.
Okay. I'm a Bethany-born guy. This has been home, all within about 3 square miles of probably right where we're at right now. Who I am, pretty easy. I'm a sinner saved by grace. I'm a husband. I'm a dad. I'm Barber. I'm a barber. I've been barbering for 25 years, and I referee NCAA Division I men's basketball.
Wow.
And you asked what I value most.
Yeah.
It is in that order.
In that order.
It is in that order.
It is in that order.
Yeah. I mean, the faith is, try to be the best husband I can be, because I know I got 2 daughters that are watching me. Try to be the best dad I can be, and try to be present there. And then, the barbering, and the barbering is the profession.
Yeah.
The refereeing is the passion. And both of those allow me to do the purpose, go back to, the faith part from the get-go.
Faith. Yeah.
So
I think, to be honest, that is probably the best response I've heard to that question from anybody that I've had on the show so far. And what I did pick up from what you said and how you said it is the details of which order it came in and how they tie into each other.
For sure.
And from what you just said, your purpose is the goal, or your purpose is the way it all ties into.
Yeah.
Is that the most important thing for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're created to be light in this dark world, and so obviously, you want to go share that light, but most importantly, you got to take care of your family first.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have your family together, what's that, what's the point of any other successes or accolades or whatever life, deems as success? And so for me, I mean, family, keeping it together, that's what matters first. That dictates, what we do in the refereeing, what I've, is my journey there. It's always, okay, is the family still good? My girls, are you still on board with what I'm doing? Because if they're not on board or they're not enjoying part of it, then then we're going to rethink that and try to, you know, get it back in line, get the priorities back where they should be.
Definitely. And the 2 P's, apart from the 3 P's, your profession, your passion, and your purpose, the first 2, profession and passion, those, from what I've gathered from speaking with you before, they're intertwined because your profession allows you to perform your passion, and your profession before your involvement with refereeing is a barbering.
Correct.
25 years as a barber.
That's it.
I'm actually going to ask you, what was, because I have a question about your first experience as a referee, your first game as a referee. What was your first haircut ever like? What was that like?
Well, I mean, so first let's go back. I'm a grad of Southern Nazarene University.
Yeah.
Got my degree, and had a year to play with. I got married in college.
Okay.
My wife, we both played basketball. My wife was on a full ride scholarship. So when I graduated, I still had a window that I could play around with, right? No pressure. We were living in student housing, all that. And so that's where I was prayerful, you know, needed something to do. I graduated with a kinesiology degree. That really never moved anywhere. And then it was, I had a buddy that I went to high school with. He cut my hair in high school, and he was opening his own shop right about that time.
Really?
And so he said, I asked him, I said, who's going to cut hair with you? Why don't you learn how to cut hair and come with me? So, I mean, providential, there's another P word, that God's providential deal, you know, to get me to that point.
Yeah.
And God's prompting, man, we're gonna go up on a whole day, but God's prompting to, you know, to ask that question, and then 3 nights later be going, okay, I'm gonna do this, you know, whatever, this is, I like this, I get to deal with people. And so then from there, now where do we go to school? You have to get school. So I went to Bethany Beauty College over here. I mean, this guy is a cosmetology grad, you know, I mean, so 4-year degree there, and then went to another after graduate school and did the cosmetology. And so my first haircut was probably in there. It was probably a perm or a shampoo set or something. was really the first one. But no, I did more men's haircuts my first day in the barber shop than I did my whole time when I was in hair school for 10 months. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, you're a man going to cosmetology school.
Yeah.
I mean, did you adjust? How did that play out? Did you enjoy it at the first?
Enjoyed it. It was, you know, it was just, it was what I needed to do. I mean, obviously I was probably the only guy in there, and at the time, and for majority of the time, I was probably the only one, and no, it was fun. Thankfully, there were good teachers. There were other good students that, you know, I was able to latch on to, and we were able to just get through. But it was go do that in the morning, and I guess that's, you know, I started refereeing when I was in college, and so I was still able. I do that during the day, and then if I refereed intramurals or something in the night, you know, I'd still have that opportunity to do some stuff. But
and both you and your wife, you said, played basketball here.
We did.
And how did you meet?
We met doing a SNU Camp for Champions. I was a sophomore. She was coming in as a freshman, and that's where we met. She was competitive. She was. I mean, we from the get-go, you know, we hit it off. After coming that summer, I told some friends, I was like, I'm going to focus just on school, my faith, school, and basketball. That's it.
Yeah.
So dated freshman year, second year, I was like, I'm just focused on these things. Gave that away, and God said, oh, I got some other plans for you.
Some other plans for your wife, yeah.
So met her there, and then 14 months later, proposed to her, and then we got married my senior year, her junior year, that summer before. Yeah. So both played basketball. I walked on, and you know, ended up through stuff. Got to play quite a bit my sophomore, junior, senior year. But then my wife, she was a stud.
Really?
Yeah. I mean that women's team, all those banners you see in the deal. I mean, she was
Were they a part? She was a part of those teams.
She's a part of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
she was the baller of the family.
Yeah. I went to one of the games, and they gave like a memorial, but showing tribute to what they've done.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure what team it was. It was different teams.
Yeah.
But that was incredible what they did.
Yeah.
And NAIA at the time.
Right.
It's another NCAA.
Right.
But
yeah.
That's
something
incredible.
ridiculous like 13 NCAA or NAIA Final Fours. I mean, it's just like, who does that? So yeah, that's a story of my career here at Southern. I could talk about my wife's basketball a lot more, a lot more than I could mine. But that's all right.
But a skill that I got from what you said is you like dealing with people. Now, you said that you were good at dealing with people, but you also said you like it. Most people don't like dealing with people. And from what I've heard, even in management, some managers don't like managing people, dealing with disputes and everything. You picked up that skill barbering, because during your time being a barber, you're cutting multiple hairs, you're grooming multiple hairs a day, and you're dealing with different people, different personalities every day. You then transitioned to say, well, that helped me as a ref.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you went to you went to say that you reffed in college. Was that the first time that you started reffing in college?
It was, yeah. I was a freshman, and Bethany First Church had a college league, and the pastor there was someone that I was close to, and he decided to do a outreach deal. I mean, a men's or a college basketball league, and and it happened. It was going during the first part of the first semester, and so at the time I was on the JV the first semester, and so I had a lot of free time in the evenings, and but that's where he asked me if I'd come help him referee, and so that's where I started refereeing, and I mean honestly that part I refereed there, then transitioned to doing intramurals at Southern Nazarene, and where we had games starting at 5 and done by midnight. I mean, and I'd referee 6 or 7 straight, and we do that 3 or 4 nights a week, and so the reps I got were invaluable. People are like, oh, where'd you start off at? I mean, intramurals is a great place to start. It's probably the best place to start refereeing because you're refereeing your peers, which is great because there's comfort in talking to our guys. But then now they're coming at you with everything, and I knew enough to be dangerous. I picked up on stuff, but still there's rules or just situational stuff, awareness that I didn't have at the time. And so there were many sleepless nights going over conversations and stuff and processing information when I was doing that intramurals for a while.
Sleepless nights thinking of the response from refereeing?
Yeah, well, situations, how I handled it, how, what I could have done different. And that was before I even started. I mean, that was before refereeing in high school was even, I wasn't even thinking that.
Really?
I mean, but it was just still that part in you that you want to, not be perfect, but you want to, how could I handle that differently? Reflective. And that's where, when you say, just hearing you talk about how everything's connected and how, I mean, I've had 40-something years to figure out, to be reflective on life's journey and to put it together and to see God's plan and see, I mean, just how it all worked, from all the way back.
And like you said, everything is connected, and you understand that. I'm still trying to understand that, even though I pointed it out. The fact that I was able to pick it up from what you just said, it's already making me think of certain things that are going on in my life. And it makes me even more excited to speak on the experiences that you've had and are still going through and becoming, going higher and higher, and maybe in refereeing and wherever it is. And refereeing now, refereeing at that time, you're already picking up a skill that most people don't pick up until they're older. And this is paying attention to things that I always say, paying attention to the details from the beginning. You're already critiquing how you're refereeing before it becomes a career. And not only that, your friends are the first players who you're refereeing. You said danger. Your friends can provide comfort, but they can also get comfortable too because you're the referee.
Right.
Was that the case?
Oh yeah. I mean, because it's I'm gonna have to see the guys, and so if a call went against them, at a game deciding deal, I mean, it's intramurals, but still competitive.
Yeah.
And there's still pride on the line. It's fun now having being able to cross paths with some guys that have refereed back in intramurals that, since I've been able to referee at the Division I level, and they go, remember when? Yeah, I wasn't very good probably, but, there's definitely stories there.
Yeah. You're still in touch with your friends, like who you refereed?
Yeah. I mean, there's being here in Bethany, there's still enough guys around this area
that would be involved, yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, again, another thing that I've picked up on is with your friends being the first players you refereed, you keep a circle. Who's in your circle of friends? Maybe not by name, but do you have a circle of friends that you can call on and always call on and be like, well, look, I'm struggling with this, or I've just gotten a happy anniversary. I've had an anniversary. My kid's birthday's today. Who's in your circle? Do you have a circle like that where you can rely on good people who are involved in faith as well, but also who they value you and you value them? Do you have a circle like that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the fun part is a lot of them go back. There's a group of 6 or 7 that we did vacation for 8 years in a row, and this is after college and after we started having kids, and but a lot of them we did high school together, but then we also did college together, and so from that group, I've just been way blessed with friends that the family value is solid,
strong.
And it's strong, and there's been permission given to keep each other accountable. If someone does start to go off off the track or something, or start to get distracted by some stuff, and thankfully I haven't been put in that situation where you have to call someone out, but no, I still have I got guys that Kevin Ingram from he's the women's volleyball coach.
Really?
He was the intramural director when I first started here, and so Coach Ingram, I should say that just because I'm speaking to you, but he's a brother that we've done a lot of life together, and
cool.
A lot of circumstances, and a lot of conversations, deep conversation. But then, there are other people that came from Southern Nazarene, paths crossed, and just being in this community where it's either at church, but where you're able to connect with people and now been on the journey together, and
still maintaining relationships.
Yes, for sure.
And now Coach Ingram is now the operations manager, I think, or that's his title, a facilities manager.
Right.
That's cool that he went from intramurals, managing intramural games,
Yeah.
now facilities manager, which I find pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you speak on him as someone who you can call on, and many others.
For sure.
These are the same players you refereed, and now you are an NCAA Division I referee. One of the biggest questions I have for you today is, first, refereeing, and I've spoken to many of teammates, coaches, anyone who watches sports, being a referee or umpire, whatever it is, can be described as one of the most difficult jobs, not just in sports, but out there. And I watch it, and I honestly, I play soccer, but I see refereeing from the outside perspective, and I'm like, wow, like this is not easy. From your professional experience and amateur experience, when you were used to play a referee in intramurals in college, is this statement true?
That officiating or refereeing basketball is the hardest thing to do. I would say I can't say it is. For me, Jody, soccer. I never played soccer. For you, is soccer tough? I mean,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, you put in the hours to be where you're at. So when you go out there on a field, like the crowd, the atmosphere, the pressure. I mean, those are things that for you being comfortable and whatever that is that you spend that much time being comfortable with something, it wouldn't be tough. I mean,
I see what you're
so
saying.
for me refereeing, I mean, all those hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent well over my 10,000 hours of, you got to do something to be successful or be not a master of it, but to master your craft. 10,000 hour rule. I did that in college. All those hours.
10,000.
But and not that I have it all figured out. I'm still learning. But for me, it's I mean, I love it, and I wouldn't say it's the hardest thing because I put the time in to where it's just what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I could see where, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
I rode motorcycles back in the day,
Really?
before kids, and you get people go, that's the craziest, most dangerous thing to do. Not when you do it.
True.
I mean, it's freeing, it's exhilarating, it's I mean, all these, it's so many other things that are positive, but you can only say that when you've been on that side and you've done it and you've experienced it and you enjoy it, you love it. I mean, it's not hard or anything like that.
I've been blind to that. What you've concluded from the question, I think I've been blinded by what the amount of effort you put into something. If it is difficult from an external point of view, it may not be difficult from the internal, from someone who's actually pursuing the task or pursuing the sport. Yes, there are difficult things about, I'm just use soccer for example. Soccer players probably we run a lot, but we don't like running, which is always a contradiction.
Right.
But we love it, so we don't find it hard.
Right.
You love what you do. You don't think of it as being difficult.
No. I mean, and even with the adversity, the scrutiny that comes with it. It's just, that's part of it. But never do you go into a game and no matter where it is and go, oh, there's these eyes on me or this pressure, and it's like, all right, I'm here within the confines of the court, and now it's time to go and do what we enjoy doing. Yeah.
The pressure, you mentioned that another word, and that's another P word, pressure. Easy. Pressure. Where does most of the pressure come from in refereeing?
I mean, that's self-inflicted, self-imposed pressure. Because there's nothing. I mean, once you know the rules, once you have the fundamentals down, and now you go out there. I mean, any pressure is just, and it's like it would be with any sport. I mean, or any speaking engagement, anything. I mean, like we give life to that word pressure.
Yes.
I mean, as far as whether we make it bigger than what it is. I mean, it's me coming to talk to you. We're just going to talk.
Yeah.
And I didn't make this more than what it was. I mean, this is my first one. I appreciate
I appreciate you.
you give me the opportunity, but no, this is what it's going to be. And so with refereeing, I mean, there is no pressure per se. I mean, the scrutiny is real.
Yeah.
When you have, it doesn't matter what gym you're in, someone has one of these cameras, some phone, I don't know, maybe even a watch, glasses. I mean, they're recording at all times, waiting for something to happen. And it doesn't matter what it is, where you're at. Someone's going to clip it. Someone's going to say, this ref did this, throw it out there. The thing for the scrutiny as far as at the higher level is just, now you have assistant coaches that are breaking it down. And so they send those to coaches and there's just accountability, but which there should be because, you're a guardian of the game. There's a lot of, the players are investing, the coaches are investing. And so there needs to be accountability for referees and that's just a part of it. So, I mean, are we perfect? No, but, learn from them and continue on. Again, that's part of it. That goes back to the times when I was in the intramurals. Was I perfect? No.
Yeah.
Did I make mistakes? Yeah. Did I learn from them? Yep. And did I, then you just try not to
Try to do it, yeah.
to do it again.
Yeah. Making a mistake in refereeing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong with this, it is something that you cannot, and when you try to make up for it, it can be another mistake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you're making a mistake with a call or whatever it is, with time, clock, if you attempt to make up for it, you make a bigger mistake.
Right.
Is that true?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we say, one mistake can't lead to two mistakes don't make it right. I mean, it's if we have a call that goes, the block charge play is a play that is 50-50. It can, they're bang plays.
Yeah.
If we get one wrong, if we went backwards, well, doesn't mean on the other end we can manipulate it and make it match it.
Yeah.
Like now we're manipulating the game, and now that's not. Now you're just continuing down. The wrong. You're going the wrong direction on that deal. We look for if mistakes happens or stuff like calls going away, then we're trying to be aware if there's an opportunity for us to be consistent and it's gray, then we'll be consistent. But yeah, we can't just go make something up just to hoping that that's gonna even it out, because that just you lose credibility, and you can. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we're not going to continue on that road.
Can't do that. Yeah. And you've already said you didn't always know this. You didn't always have the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone. No one can have the know it all at the first attempt. It comes with some type of either failure or even success. The experience. After intramurals, what was your first memory or first game of amateur refereeing? Do you remember it?
I should have looked at my notes on this. I know I did. I kept a journal of my first few games, so it was a high school deal. I remember the ones where I went back to. I went to Putnam City West High School. Well, Putnam City was a rival in high school. Well, I remember, and that coach Birchie was an incredible coach, and I remember going my first time to go back there. I don't remember my first game, but those moments of when you go back to gyms that you played in, or coaches that that were coaches against you when you were a player. Those are always special. Kind of
coming back.
Yeah.
That's
I remember first time at the alma mater. Coming back here and referee, and it's been. Those are fun times.
Yeah, this is your alma mater.
Correct.
And where you also started not refereeing, but just as a student, started working. You got married here. Mm-hmm. This is not just your alma mater, but would you call this your home?
Oh yeah, Bethany. Yeah.
I've played around with the idea, not the idea, but I played around with what I can and cannot say on camera. But one thing I'm not gonna do is recruit, because that is a very fine line with either NAIA or NCAA. But you can call Southern Nazarene University your home.
I can, yeah. And I can. Thinking about that, as far as, it's been, I graduated in 2002. So, there's been plenty of time. And so,
that's cool.
Yeah. Just trying to think if there's any conflict of interest, but after 20 years, anyone that I knew that I coach against, whatever. it's not. And again, the thing with refereeing is there's so much scrutiny. We're called to a higher, to be guardians of the game, and so it doesn't matter who we're refereeing, where we're at. Yeah. Like the job is to go out there and to be impartial, to not referee through crimson colored glasses or are we crimson anymore, or are we just red?
That's a good question, because I've seen different logos of the colors.
It was crimson when I played, but you just gray, black, white, gray. I don't know. That's what we referee the game. So even when I come back here and referee, it was fun. just seeing a lot of people that were, that were supporters when I played, and so they know and they see you, and those people always think you're pretty good. So
That's cool.
You can't really make them mad, but
but they've
where
seen you before. They know who you are, and fortunately enough, and we spoke about this before briefly, the SNU teams, both men's and women's, this year and last year have done pretty well from November to now. And although they didn't make it to the end, both teams, but they did pretty well.
Yeah.
And I'm pointing this up to say, not to give all the credit to the teams. I will give credit. I have a lot of friends on both teams. But I'm saying this to say, when teams experience a lot of success, especially the home team, there isn't much for crowd to complain about.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yep.
If there's someone in the crowd complaining, I don't know what they're watching, but if your team is doing well, there's no reason for you to complain per se, So, but did that make it easier for you to ref when you did come back here? A home team that's successful.
I mean, when I came back and refereed, they were successful, and so there was, I know and I knew the coach real well, and so there was, and I don't know that they won every time I came back here, and not that even matters. It's just, the atmosphere of having the people that knew me, that liked me. I mean, it was still that was fun. In the game, you just referee it for what it is, and I'm sure there were calls that didn't go in their favor, but this is where there's a no-like trust factor, and they know me, they like me, they trust me. So now, and this is the same. This goes with my relationship with coaches. Some coaches don't know you, and so they're going to come at you. They don't like you. They don't know you. They're not going to like you. They don't trust you. And so you're going to get everything. And so it doesn't matter what I say. So now it's just being consistent, and then, having opportunities where they get to know you. Yeah. And then over time, they'll start to like you. And then they go, hey, I want you on any of my games. And I think that's how, when I came here, there was, no like trust, not just with the Southern Nazarene coach, but with other coaches that were in the league because they had seen me around and they had seen my body of work, and they knew me, they liked me, they trust me, even if it was. I remember the Oklahoma Christian coach, whenever I played here, was Dan Hayes, and he's the basketball guru of Oklahoma. I mean, as far as coaching, I mean, he's up there. And but he knew where I played, and he knew, as far as those deals. But he said, Brian, I'd rather have you, I'd rather have you on this game, than someone else or whatever. But he wanted me, he trusted me on that, and so that's the importance of just taking care of business through all the way.
Trust, like trust. Yeah. Is there ever a fear of losing that trust?
No. No. I mean, because I think the thing is, everyone. Being a professional, I mean, as far as the coaches, that's their job. Yeah. And you're still dealing with people. So realizing that people aren't perfect, and realizing that that's just anything that's dealing with relationships is they messed up, but for us to continue on, like, we gotta go into the next time I see them, whatever the coach is. We've got to figure out how to make this work this time, and so for me, that's the opportunity. Yeah, I mean, that's an opportunity. I know we had this happen in the past, but how can we get back to make it a working relationship so you can be successful, I can be successful, and obviously I'm not influencing that, but I mean, you have a job to do, I have a job to do, and we need to work together for the betterment of the game. And so the relational part is.
As we go into like the details of the relationships in the coaches and teams and universities, I understand how difficult it is to speak from a neutral point of view, which is why even the questions I'm asking must allow you to answer neutrally.
Right.
And I know how difficult that can be. I know this is why it's a very unique position that you're in as a referee,
Right.
you know? And that's why I'm very appreciative of you coming on the show to speak about your experience, because it's a unique perspective. I'll use the word unique again. But the character that you have, or you describe your passion, purpose, as well as your profession, but the character that you have had before and now, what would you say is the biggest change, or if there was a change in your character in relation to your profession?
You know, I think that just realizing, once I realized, like even in refereeing, that in Barber, I remember the day, you know, behind a barber chair, I get to talk, and people know that I referee, and people like basketball, and so you know I get to talk about what I do a lot, and so there's always, you know, the saying stuff over and over, and like, oh, that makes sense, and that too, you know, just aha moments
Okay.
of the journey, but man, I just lost focus. Okay, remind me what you asked.
Your character.
This is where you can edit it out.
Leave it all in.
The character part. Okay, I was talking about relationships. Man, I had something really good for you too. Okay,
It hasn't changed.
I'm drawing a blank as far as
from my idea.
Yeah.
My character, I like to say, it hasn't changed. I hope
Right.
it hasn't, because your character may be just something that's is you.
Right.
It's untouched. It cannot be. I'm looking for the word now. It's not malleable. Malleable, is that the right word? I'm not sure, but it can't be changed. It can't be altered.
Right. Has my character changed
within
through this thing?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't. My aha moment, it's coming back to me as far as just like in a purpose. That knowing that whenever I am behind a barber chair, whenever I'm on the floor, I have an opportunity to connect and communicate with people and treat people in a way, you know, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Where I'm able to be a light to someone. So, and that's been, you know, the day that when I was behind the barber chair and it clicked, and I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Incredible.
I mean, it put back in there like, this is why I'm doing this, you know, and so I look forward to the opportunities of going in with, you know, there's 3 officials always for regular season games, and when you go in there and you know, if you're the referee on the game, you get to kind of hold the pregame, and so you go in there and for me it's and sometimes you get car rides there or where, you know, where you just got good time, quality time there. And so now let's talk about who you are. Yeah. Let's get to know each other at a deeper level, and what's going on in our lives. Because when we connect there, when there's that know, like, trust relationship there, now when we go out on the floor, it's gonna be great.
Everything is like strings.
Because when adversity comes, when the heat comes, like, we're already together on this, and we're all on the common thread, common goal.
But the referees they change though, so you have to know them at a time. For example, like refereeing here, you live in Bethany, so that if it's not a far travel to go referee at SNU, for example, home, but the referees will change each week, right?
So in basketball, it changes every game.
Every game.
Yeah. So I mean, rarely, because we're all at different points in our career. So you know, right now I'm working probably high 90% of my games. I mean, almost all of my games are Division I games, and I'm in different leagues there. But the couple games that I work small college, you know, they may work only small college and some high school. And so the managing of all those schedules merging together, we're all independent contractors, so just whoever, this takes priority. They give me my assignments, and then, but it's always, you know, you may work with a couple guys on a swing or you may work with one or two here or there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a new crew every night, which is just another opportunity, opportunity to go and whether it's people or don't, it's going okay. Well, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get to know them. We're gonna go into this game and we're gonna take care of it and do what we do.
How much time do you have to learn to know the referees around you?
So the good thing is a lot of these guys we came up together. We're in the same system, and so there's meetings throughout the season.
Okay.
We're able to see people, and it's not always. I mean, maybe if you did a tournament somewhere where people are coming from different leagues, that hey, you have, if we can break bread before, get a meal together, that's always a good opportunity.
Yeah.
But then typically every game we have to be there 90 minutes before the game in the locker room. Most people will get there about 2 hours before.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like depending on travel, sometimes you travel into a place and then we all stay at the same hotel and then you drive, to the game together. So there's more opportunity.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about like the travel because although let's say you're not just refereeing at home, where you just have to commute here on your own time. What is it like traveling across the country to referee? What's that process like?
That's probably the least fun thing about refereeing.
Really?
Is the travel.
Really?
I mean, you're, it's just you're usually traveling the day of. We can do that. But that means 5 o'clock flights, which means 3:30 alarm clocks.
Yeah.
So you can get there. Thankfully, I've done it enough where I'll get to the airport, boards at 5 o'clock. I'm there at 4:40. I mean, with clearance and stuff like that. Like I can, and you never check bags, so I can squeeze through there. But the travel part, because you just there's so many logistics. I missed a game this year because there was a thunderstorm at 6 o'clock in the morning.
In Oklahoma?
In Oklahoma. We had a couple of those thunderstorms that came through, and one of them delayed the first flight out of Oklahoma. Well, after that, all the other flights out of Oklahoma were booked, and so I could have got to the arena probably with like 30, 45 minutes if everything went according to plan. Yeah. Which is too close. So I had already given the boss a heads up, and I lost that game. But the travel part is, you're doing that. You're booking cars. You're staying in hotels. So it's if the refereeing ends in barbering, I think I'd have a pretty good career in being a travel agent in that stuff, knowing how to navigate.
It sounds like you're a professional traveler, no?
Yeah.
You know how to maneuver at the airport. Not many people do. How to get around of checking bags and how much to pack.
Yeah, you get a big bag, get a 40-liter bag and throw everything in there.
But you don't like traveling.
Traveling's, I enjoy it. If there had to be like, what's the toughest thing refereeing?
Refereeing? Traveling.
The refereeing is not tough because that's what we enjoy doing. The being away from the family is tough. Being away from the family, and then just the logistics of getting up in the morning. And, the thing that's always going to the East Coast is always an interesting one because you still got to get up at 5 in the morning, 3:30 to get on the flight to get somewhere and then get to the East Coast, Eastern time. But then on the way home, you still want to get on the 5 o'clock flight, which means that's 4 o'clock here. Which means, 5 o'clock, so I'm getting up at 3:30 there, which is actually 2:30 here. Yeah. And then I fly back here, and so you're trying to play catch up with sleep. So that makes the days. Whenever you get to a city, a nap is. You better make sure you take care of. Get a nap. I'm not much of a sleeper on a plane. I gotta listen to an audio book or binge watch a series or something.
That's good. Even when you're staying in a hotel, preparing for the game, or you're getting ready, what's even that like getting to the stadium? What's the preparation like, even from getting to the stadium, then from the first whistle? What's all that in between?
Yeah. So like I said, be there 90 minutes before. Some people. I'm not a big eater before a game, get a little caffeine or something. But get in the locker room, and then again, it's for me, it's let's get to know each other. Let's talk. We've all been doing it long enough that there's that we shouldn't have to break down coverage areas. We shouldn't have to break down rule stuff. I mean, sometimes there'll definitely be plays that'll occur. I mean, we're always watching, always talking, and so if you can learn from other people's plays, that's a key. And so there's always healthy dialogue about plays and scenarios and how we would handle it, or thoughts on that, or just clarification on rules. And so there's a lot of that goes into. But then talking about the matchups is a big part of what we do. Making sure we know who the key players are. That we know the guys that if they get 2 fouls early, coach is going to be pretty upset. And so, not saying that they can't get 2 fouls early, but just saying that we're going to have an awareness that we make sure that their fouls are valuable. And I mean, if you've watched the NBA playoffs here, I mean, you see where the physicality is ratcheted up. And so, but the reason is because there's so much on the line. And so, what would be contact that we would call in the regular season, there's just there's more on the line. So they want to make sure that they're high certainty, that they're no brainers, and they let the guys play through. So, but being aware of who the rebounders are, who the shooters are, who the point guards are. I mean, just knowing all those things
beforehand.
Beforehand help get our mind right. So when we're out there, the thing with refereeing, to be successful, is just your awareness, and being aware of who's in the game, being aware who has the ball, being aware of what the foul counts are, being aware of what the score is, being aware. I mean, so awareness is huge, and getting all that information just helps. You throw it in the processor, and it helps. Whenever a play occurs, now I have all the information to be successful on it.
That's your mind, getting your mind right for the game, knowing who's around you, not just the staff, as in the referee and the coach, the players. Getting your body right, because when I was a kid, I didn't understand that referees still need to warm up.
Right.
Yeah, I remember I was watching for the first time. We have an AstroTurf field in Barbados that is not new, but it's been around for a while, but it's one of the only 2 AstroTurf fields in the island. And I remember I was playing in a game on the field, and I just saw the referees change their shoes to turf, so flats rather than studs. I was like, okay, whatever. And then they start doing running. I was like, I didn't even think about it. Referees have to warm up, because if they start going to a full sprint and they pull a hamstring, then it's a problem.
Right.
When do you start warming up? What does that look like?
So my warm-up process, I'm still holding on. I still think I'm younger than I haven't added the icy hot. I will occasionally, if there's a heat bag or someone asks for heat, I'll heat. Just a lot of times, basketball's in the middle of a winter, so trying just to warm up, try to get the legs. But for me, the biggest thing is, if I can warm up my hips, make sure my hips are warmed up, and then, after that, we toss it up, and I'm still where I can. I'm still where I can run up and down, and doing it in a way that I still am athletic out there. But no, there will come a day where it's more my list. We do podcast 2.0 on this interview down the road, and my routine. Will most likely change just because out of necessity. But right now I'm holding on to I haven't had any issues, so we're just going to continue to.
Awesome.
I don't know. I don't know if it's awesome. It is what it is. But been fortunate. I'm not the quickest of guys, but just am able to run, enjoy running, and so we can find that happy medium in there.
Yeah.
So.
When the whistle blows, because that's where everything, I guess, what everyone else sees, the crowd, that's what everyone sees when the first whistle goes. They don't see what we just spoke about, they see what's happening now. Is there any type of nerves? Because players get nervous. A lot of players get nervous. Everyone gets nervous as a player at some point. Do referees get nervous? Do you get nervous?
Don't get nervous. Don't get no. I mean, it's you get moments where the arenas. I mean, where the arenas and the atmospheres are electric to a point where you just sit in awe,
Wow.
or in gratitude, and just or like, this is cool, type moments, but not a nervousness of I don't know. I don't know what there would be to be nervous about. Similar to the part, this is just, I don't know if this fits, but I got a good buddy. He always tells me, "Hey, good luck before a game." I'm like,
What is that?
Why good luck? Like, what? Luck has, for me,
Yeah.
luck has nothing to do with this. I mean, reality, yes. I mean, if you had some crazy play, like, I hope nothing happens crazy, but the thing is, you put in the work, and I've done it enough to where the atmosphere, all that may change, but the court's still the same.
Yeah.
Same court. There's still 10 players.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 of us. We're going to have our positions. So there's so that the nervousness. No, and that's probably one of the cooler things is when you get into one of those facilities. They always start with the national anthem, and so you put your hand on your heart.
Yeah.
And just go.
That feels good.
We're good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, pregame, I mean, it's a prayer. It's giving thanks for the opportunity, and be with my family. I mean, there's being thoughtful about my family, but there's definitely peace in that deal. But I mean, I'm about to go do what I love to do. So.
Your passion.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
It's like, you mentioned the atmosphere of being at a big game or at a big stadium, whether the team is winning or losing. That must be an experience and you're on the court. It's not like you're on the side, you're on the court, experiencing this firsthand. You said you feel a sense of awe. Has that sense of awe faded away, or is there always that sense of awe for every game?
So for me, I mean, I'm low man on the totem pole when it comes to Division I basketball. There's still a lot of rungs, experiences for me to get. I've had the opportunity to referee at the highest level. I've had, but I still do small college stuff, or not small college, smaller Division I schools. And so, to have, you go into a smaller Division I mean, is there an awe of that? Yeah. I mean, probably not. I mean, it's a smaller facility, and there's just, not a lot of people there or whatever. It's out in the middle of nowhere. There's not a lot of warm fuzzies with that. But there's always the national anthem and the gratitude, and just going, I get to do this. I'm getting paid to go referee in Fargo, North Dakota. I'm getting, whatever. I'm getting paid to do this. And so, throughout the game, especially if it's a fun game, but I remind myself like that, like, getting paid to do this, and this is so there's definitely always a joy or whatever. Just, I guess gratitude is just the overall word with that. Not every place has the awe, but when you do get opportunities to be in a big place, or a new facility, or one that you grew up watching on TV, and then to walk in there and go, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Like those are cool experiences.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Or the, I mean, I'm sure you had a question here, but the coach that that you've, like, that's the coach. I mean, I've had moments where where it's like, that's the coach, and I missed a call, and he gave me his 2 cents, and then the crowd rains down, something that can't be said on TV, and it's you just go, even in that moment, you go, oh, that's pretty good.
That's cool. Really?
Yeah.
I like
I mean,
that.
I had my wife with me, and for that game, and that was the highlight of it.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, that was great." I was like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool, wasn't it?"
Yeah, because that's a high. That's apart from making a good call or even being in the stadium. That's a high for you, as in terms of what you've achieved. A refereeing at that level is a high. The low is what you just said, but the low is still a high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, it's being a basketball fan, being a basketball player. You know, my wife, she coached for 10 years, and we're a basketball family. And so like having an appreciation even for fans. I mean, like, oh, that was good. I mean, I had a game this year, was in a facility, Division I facility, and it's the court is designed where there's not enough room on the inline or the sideline for the cheerleaders to stand. I mean, so it's like 3 feet, and then there's the student section, and it goes all the way up, and the student section goes from this inline all the way around to the center court, and it's just they're amazing. And had a call that went against them, and towards the end of the game that they were, the game wasn't in doubt. I mean, I think it was close, but I had a call where we upgraded to a flagrant foul, and I go to administer the free throw. And when I administer the free throw and I back out, they're yelling, "Take his whistle." The whole place is yelling. And when I go to throw the ball, like, it shakes my equilibrium. I mean, it's the loudest and the most, like, they were right there, and just powerful deal where, seriously, it was like to catch my bearing and go, okay, that was a first. Wow. And then you go, oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, because you appreciate like that part of the atmosphere. I mean, take yourself out of, I mean, I'm just wearing stripes. They don't know me, so they're going after stripes, but take yourself. I mean, if I'm sitting over there watching it, I'm going, wow, that's awesome. They're getting after it.
Yeah. Is that the experience part of your character that you're able to not entirely brush off the noise or silence the noise and focus on the game? Is that the experience that is coming into play? Because before, what we were speaking about, you starting intermural, and now it's very easy for you to just take that and be like, well, what do I do here? Like, is it what they're saying is true?
I mean, going back to all the intramural talks. Yeah. I mean, I had to have those. I mean, those sleepless nights were me processing, me self-talking, and me going, just talking myself out of it, and like building up that. I mean, you have to have that inner strength and that inner, confidence. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep going, and you're gonna say what you're gonna say. I'm doing what I do, and it's not gonna change. I mean, I don't know. It just, but definitely that foundation of refereeing my peers who were, just this all the time, and so it's like, all right, I'm gonna continue on, and I've processed it, and I know, and that's the thing about, the time we've put in. I mean, I know the job I do, I know what my job is, I know when I make a mistake, I know when I don't, and that's just a fan being a fan.
Yes.
Right, because they're looking through that lens, and so, I mean, those are the not funny ones, but that definitely helps where it's not me that they're going after personally. They're just a fan, fighting for their team, and they don't understand the rules, or it is what it is, or it was a bad call, but it is what it is, and so now you know why they're doing it.
And it's not necessarily you. It shouldn't be you that they're attacking. It's the decision.
Right.
Sometimes both the fans, the players also forget that is the motivation for the reason behind the response from the crowd, or response from even themselves as the players. But now I want you to compare, because that's one of your, I want to see I don't know if that's your most recent game, but I want you to compare your most recent game to your first ever game referee. Is there a decision in there, or a couple, or many, or if there's even none, that you would change? Is there anything you had done differently? That can be a very difficult question because it's two different.
No, I mean, it's an easy question.
Really?
Because, I mean, everything that I've done has gotten me to where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to go back, we could go back. I have conversations that I didn't say what I could have said. I didn't give a technical foul when I could have gave a technical foul. I missed a meeting that I shouldn't have missed. I did. I got all these things that, were hard, were not what I wanted, were not what I pictured, but though I'm still where we're at. And so even from the first time, like all those things prepared me, and all that adversity and all those, those tough times where you're stretched and you're uncomfortable, like those things are all the things that prepare me for where I'm at now. And I don't know why this is. There's something from that last one, and it kind of goes with this as well. As far as just, I don't want it to come across that, if I miss a call, it is what it is. There's still the part of me why I enjoy doing this is it's still my opportunity to go out there and try to be perfect. Not going to happen, right? Because the eye of the beholder. Some people, half of them are going to like you, half of them aren't. But for me to go out there and do the best I can do. So that being said, there are plays and there are situations that occur throughout a season where, you misinterpret something, or you botch a call, and those hurt. Those stick with you, but those are, again, they happen. So what are we gonna do now? Now we learn from it. Now how can we make sure that doesn't happen again, and how do we move forward from there? And
Definitely. I think that's really cool, and a really interesting way to segment into or transition into the quick fire questions. But before we get into that, you have, I would say this you have an elite mentality. Now, this isn't much coming from me. I always maybe discredit myself a bit too much, but I like to discredit myself in the sense where I'm not coming from a position of necessarily of done enough to say that someone is either not elite or elite. Right. But I will say, from what I've heard and what I've seen from other teammates and what I've coaches, the mentality that you have is different. Not just because you are on a different side of the ball as a referee, but you approach the game and how to respond from challenges, and with the elite mindset. Do you credit yourself for that at any point? Do you give yourself credit for the mentality that you have?
You heard me just say I'm low man on the totem pole. I'm not there. We've had the opportunity to referee for NCAA March Madness games, but there's still, saying that I'm there or that I've done something, that's not, I don't know that that'll ever be in my vocabulary. Saying that that I'm going to go back next year, you'll never hear me say that, because I've done enough life to know that there's so many things that we can't control. And that's one of them. But I guess the things that we can control are our mindset, our who we are inside. That's the only thing I can control. That I have, I can help direct in the way that I want it to go. And the thing for me, going back to the beginning question, is knowing that it's not about me. That it's not me that's doing. If I say something profound or whatever, that's not me. That's Christ in me. Yeah, I like that. That's helping me be elite, or be different, or be whatever. It just ties back to the beginning of who I am and what makes me who I am.
Who you are.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I'm glad that we can go into the quick fire questions. Okay. We're going to speak about some comparisons specifically with Division II and Division I basketball, the levels and what you've seen. But first, we spoke about the actual, what game day looks like for you, both mentally preparing and physically preparing. But do you have a pregame ritual by chance?
I try to find a Celsius green tea drink, and it's only that one. I did a Celsius carbonated drink, and I could barely button my pants because I was so like just full of gas. So never again green tea if I do something. That's really about the only thing that if there's a thing that I do consistently, I try to have that as my caffeine little.
Yeah. That's not a promotional, by the way.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know.
It's okay. But favorite gym or arena to officiate in?
I mean, one of the first ones that I refereed in was Wichita State gym, and again, the gym. When I say that, it's the atmospheres, right? I mean, a gym is just a gym, and you know, some of the coolest ones are some of the oldest ones. I mean, the first time I walked into the Indiana gym, and you're like, okay, Bobby Knight threw a chair from here to there, and that was cool. but then having you know, the being in there when the fans are, you know, and I have not worked a conference game there yet. I've just worked non-conference, and it's awesome. And but you know, those facilities where the students are way involved, the community is way involved. Those are always the ones that stand out. Yeah.
That's cool. One word that a coach yells the most. Now, one that we can say, you know.
It's probably just Brian.
Really?
Brian.
Oh, that's Brian.
Yeah. I mean, with as far as, you know, with coaches, I mean, you know, we're people trying to do our jobs, and so for me, I try to get on a first name basis with them, and so I mean that as far as the most consistent thing, it's
right.
and then you know, we can go from there, or
do you respond with their coach like, oh, Joe, or what do you?
Yeah. I mean, depending, and like I said, sometimes it's I mean, me still getting comfortable with coaches, and one of my personality traits. I mean, I'm not quick-witted. I'm not a quick responder type guy, and so I think that helps me because when coaches do come at me with whatever they're saying, there's not a quick
response,
like jab back, which you know, good or bad. But I know for me, it's like when I speak, I want it to be, you know, purposeful and appropriate, and rare. But there are times when you do have a relationship with a guy, and there is comfort, and there is, you know, they come at you out of a certain way, and you go, oh, hang on, that ain't happening. But that's just because it's come over time. Yeah. And so like for if I walk to any, you know, smaller college or whatever, there's comfort there, you know, but where there's still, anytime I go to a place and the coaches aren't used to, you know, they don't know my name, that's like, okay, well, this is going to be, they're going to come at me because they don't know me.
They don't know you, yeah. That one can be difficult, definitely.
Yeah.
Which ties into the most hostile crowd you ever refed in front of.
I don't know our definition of hostile. I mean, passionate.
Passionate.
I mean, I think that would fall under, you know, probably the place I was referring to is Utah State, and that was the last one where it's just they're known for. I mean, their student body is just it's one of the best. But there's a handful of them that are out there. And again, I've only refereed in this little deal. There's still other places that are passionate, Northeast places that have been around for a while, that are, you know, New Jersey, New York, that are pretty passionate about life and about everything. So when they come to basketball, you're gonna get some hostile environments where stuff's just being thrown out there. And again, like those aren't things that I have to worry about. I mean, I'm gonna go referee my ball game, but the thing is, I mean, it provides entertainment to what we're doing. I mean,
Yeah,
I got this guy here that's yelling over my shoulder, you know, or yelling at me, or yelling there. You just go, that was good, or oh, you're that guy, and or gal. I mean, I've had the 70, 80-year-old, you know,
passionate
fan on the front row that she's gonna wear you up and down. It's like, okay, so yeah.
Oh man.
Just passionate. They're passionate, not hostile.
Yeah. If you weren't officiating, I know what job you have now, but if you weren't officiating, what would you fill in for that role of passion?
Oh wow. I mean, I can't being a dad's not. I can't throw that in there because we're talking job.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. We'll have to sit back if refereeing went away. We'd have to sit back and wait for God to open up another door.
I like that.
And for us to walk through that one. But you know, right now I'm grateful for the opportunity I have to do what I do. And but if that was not there, I mean, that doesn't define who I am and who I want to be. And so if this door's shut, then I go, okay, God, what do you have next for us?
Yeah.
And just wait to see what's next on the journey.
I like that. Do you watch basketball as a fan, or are you always looking at it as from the perspective of a referee?
I will watch a game based on who's refereeing it. If you had
even NBA, like
if you had number one, yeah. I mean, if I have a buddy that's refereeing, you know, over here, and then there's number one versus number two over here, I'll most likely gravitate to watching my buddy work over here. Yeah. Having both my daughters, they like basketball, and so, you know, Dad gets to work the first round of March Madness, but that makes the rest of it we can watch, and I'm watching peers, and I'm watching, you know, mentors, and so it makes it fun. I mean, I'm always looking through that lens, but the talent pool here these last few years, you know, we're getting better and better players, older players. I mean, more places that you're familiar with, and so there's you know, it has. If you're not refereeing, I can sit back and enjoy a game through that because I got my daughters that are, you know, pulling for. They care less about I shouldn't say they care less. They are very educated and opinionated when it comes to referees.
Yeah. How old are they?
17 and 14.
17 and 14.
Yeah,
so
a junior and an eighth grader.
And they're both playing basketball.
They do.
Yeah. So they should be some players because both their parents play basketball.
They can handle their own.
That's
and
good.
Yeah, they enjoy it.
That's good. That'll be fun to watch, especially both two parents who play basketball watching their daughters. That'd be really cool to watch. Yeah. Is that something that is special to you?
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be just basketball. I mean, and not that they have to do basketball. I mean, we're gonna do something. And my junior, she plays softball, and we enjoy doing that. My eighth grader, she is a runner, and it's fun watching her do that. And so, yeah, I mean, basketball is fun. It doesn't matter what they do. I'm gonna be there as much as I can, especially during the summer. I try not to miss any of that. That's the other part of the barbering that I love is it gives me the flexibility to be present for whatever they do. Just because whenever it's basketball season, I'm gone. You know, a good majority of their games there. Yeah. But.
Have you ever laughed out loud during a game, or what was the funniest moment that's ever happened during a game?
Laugh out loud. I've caught myself on, like, you know, dunks or something like that, you know, raising an eyebrow or going, whoa. You know, and then, like, and looking at a buddy going, that was nice. Be it a block or whatever, you know, you can get caught up in that part of it. There's really nothing. I mean, if a partner falls, I may giggle on the inside, but you're not going to laugh out loud. So, I mean, anything. I mean, afterwards we'll definitely laugh a ton about it. But but most of the time, if I'm laughing about something on the floor, it's just something that a fan said that's, you know, that's talking about, you know, me or a partner, or just say something funny, those are the ones where you get
Yeah.
a chuckle in. Like, oh, that was good. That was good.
Is there, so with the moment that something like spectacular happens, is there one that, or a few that stand out to you that you raise the eyebrow, you're like, okay, look, wow, that was impressive. Any of those type of moments that you can remember?
Yeah. So being here in Oklahoma, I've had the opportunity to referee the Oklahoma City Thunder practices, and it's not because I have any affiliation with the NBA. It's just have a mentor that gets phone calls, so we have access to referee them. So I've been doing that since it was Kevin Durant and Westbrook and now Shea and these guys. But there was a guy, Serge Ibaka, that he came down the lane and did a dunk that, I mean, it was the most powerful, like seeing it at the baseline and him take 2 steps and be just inside the free throw line and go up and just dunk it. And it was just like, I've never seen anything like that.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean,
Wow.
yeah, when you, that's the first one that stands out, that I always remember. But
That's cool. That's like I mean, from the way you're describing it, I know these guys are like 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", tall, massive men who athleticism crazy. You are saying that you admire, but you're still doing your job.
Oh yeah,
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to
yeah.
balance.
No. And obviously, I mean, at the Division I level, I mean, you get guys that are next level players and are elite and are lottery draft guys. So you get to referee them. I've had the opportunity to referee some of them, and you may go, wow, this is a large man, or wow, that was a solid move. But you still have a job to do.
Yeah.
I mean, but there is an appreciation for, the guard that shoots, that starts off the game 4-4 or whatever. It's like, or has 30 points at halftime. I mean, like being a basketball player, I mean, you have an appreciation for that dude's having a good night and an understanding of what's going on. So I think refereeing, that's the other part. You get to see all the action, you get to be a part of it and see it, and that's one of the perks of refereeing. Yeah. And that's where, when I got done with doing intramurals, and I went and did some BFC men's league, and I refereed that one. First year I played in it. I played in it 1 year, and after I played in it, and I got pushed through the wall, and didn't have, and there was not a flagrant foul called, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And I knew enough to be dangerous, and I said, I'm gonna referee the men's league, because now there's 3 games a night, 2 courts. I get to see, instead of just seeing these guys and whoever we're playing, I get to see everyone, and I get to be a part of all those, and so
That's
that
cool.
just carries on. Yeah,
That's cool. It's cool. Awesome. Most underrated skill a great referee needs to have.
Having a short memory.
I like that one.
Is that a skill? I mean, it's just there are situations that happen, plays that happen. You may miss a call, and you can't carry that on to the next play. I mean, you have it happen. Okay, we go to the other court. You've got to go, what does this possession need from me now? That one's in the past.
Yeah.
So what does this one need from me? It needs me to, to understand what happened back there. But I can't let that impact what happens in this possession. This possession needs me to be solid on here. No marginal contact whistle here. It needs me to,
short-term memory.
Yeah, short-term memory.
Yeah, I spoke with an athlete I don't know when this will go up, but recently, and either he or she, I think it was both of them, two athletes said, I asked them a question about having a short-term memory as an athlete, and they said, you know what, I didn't call it that, but this is exactly what I try to practice. You remember the good forget about it. Next one, you remember the bad, you forget about it. Next one.
Yeah.
Is that the same for you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's I've heard the term clear the mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, okay, like now back to clear everything to
Mm-hmm.
where now we're back focused in the moment and what I need to do right now to be successful.
That helps. It does. Craziest thing a fan has ever yelled at you?
I'm glad you asked that one after the previous question, because my short-term memory, I don't know. I mean, I think the loud ones when the whole arena is yelling something at you, saying that you missed a call and that the call was a certain thing, like in the whole arena, like that, you just go, okay, like that's memorable. Or take his whistle.
That, like you said, take his whistle.
I mean, so it's not one thing someone said, because I mean, when I was, I think the most abuse I took in my refereeing journey was early on in doing youth stuff, where the atmospheres are, where everyone's on top of you. I mean, you're accessible to people because there's no stands, keeping people separated. They're right there on the floor, and then it's their babies, and they're way invested, and they're stressed out. And so, I mean, some of the most abuse that I've gotten, and it could also just be that I was insecure enough that it impacted me more. It hit me more. But I had that early on in some settings where it's like, oh, I remember that one. That hurt. But now that where we're at now, I mean, when people know your name, that's always an interesting deal. You're like, you know my name. Where did you get that? But I think now, I mean, one person saying something, I mean, it just goes, and you laugh about it, or whatever, and continue on. It doesn't stick like those early ones where, like I said, I mean, even a peer would say something, or we'd have a dialogue, and it's like, that hurts because you're trying to figure it all out.
That one was sting, definitely. And what's one referee you look up to or learn from in terms of like getting advice?
I can't name one specifically. I'll just say, I mean, whenever I started this journey, I mean, there's a customer in the barber shop that refereed small high school stuff, and when I was doing the men's league at BFC, I told him I was refereeing, and he's like, well, let me come watch you. And he encouraged me. He said, Brian, you can go wherever you want with this. And this is before I even started doing high school stuff. But then once I started looking at high school, I mean, my wife, she was recruiting, and so I went and I'm watching guys, and I know the type A guys. I mean, I'm a type A guy, so I see the guys that are perfectionists, that are purposeful and stuff. And so I identified two guys. We got online looking for a place, and they're the president and vice president of this association. Wow. I was like, okay, no brainer, but thank you, So we went there, and then they were women's officials. Well, then on the men's side, at the collegiate level, so they helped me through high school, and then on the men's side, I mean, the two guys that were best buds, they're mentors of mine, and still, and then once I got to Division I, I had a Division I referee and an NBA referee that are mentors and mentors still, and just close guys. So I've been fortunate throughout the whole deal of having, God put people in my lives that are still solid parts of my refereeing. I mean, they're still foundational rock guys that for purposes of insight, of spiritual stuff, of being a family man, and the values are there, and seeing them be successful in refereeing at a high level and still have their marriage and their kids, and not saying everything's been perfect, but that expectation isn't there. I mean, it's just how can we let me see how to be successful and be able to navigate. So I've been very fortunate as far as mentors that way.
That's good. Have you ever missed an obvious call and immediately know, okay, well, that one might have been a bit off right from as soon as you call it. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully it doesn't happen every game,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of whistles in every game. So the chance of, one out of, 30 whistles, one of those are probably going to not fit the game, or you anticipated, or you didn't have the angle, and something happens and you go, ugh. And so that's one of those, having the awareness of that, and to be able to go to the coach and go, you're absolutely right. You may have a point. You have a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, just straight up, yeah, I missed that one. Not my favorite call. I mean, there's, however it comes out, and your relationship with the coach. But I think taking ownership of those plays definitely helps. I mean, sometimes we're so involved and we think, we saw something, but then after the fact, like at the Division I level, we have a lot of the games are videoed, and we have access to the replay system. And so, you may go in at halftime and see that there's that 50-50 play that you went one way and he got excited, and you look at it and go, man, he was right. So then you come out at halftime and coach can talk to you. Hey, that play, I looked at it in there. You were right. And be able to take ownership of that, and let him know that you're human. I mean, they don't expect perfection. Yeah. But just don't be arrogant, and don't be be personable, and so those are ways to be personable. Yeah.
That's cool. Ever had to break up a fight on the court?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, those guys are pretty tall.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of the one that was we got, thankfully, I mean, they're all televised or pictures or whatever, stuff. And so I've got a good one of me. We had two teams. This was in the TBT tournament. Are you familiar with that?
TBT, no.
The basketball tournament. They play for $1 million or $2 million teams, and they're all alumni teams or ex. They're not college players. They're pro-am. It's like a pro-am. And but I mean, we had guys get after it, and so I'm in there, and I got a guy, and I'm walking him away, and I'm looking up, and pushing him away. But yeah, I mean, it happens. You get matchups where personalities or past stuff happens, and stuff does happen. I think the thing with refereeing is we have an opportunity to address all those before they get to before they ignite to that. You see little ambers here, and it's getting there, but before it just blows, like there's signs that if you're aware, you can address and get in the middle of. So I've been fortunate, to do that, but no, there's still just the inevitable, like they get tangled up to physical deals or a lot on the line, and emotions. Yeah, a lot. Run over, and you have to. I don't know if you have to stick your head in there, but I just think it's just you don't want something to blow up. And so you try to get in there and separate.
Is there ever a concern for your safety?
There should be. Yeah. There should be, but I think it's it's easy. It just depends on what it is. I mean, I was at a youth basketball game this last weekend, and girls pulling hair and coaches and all that, and I was sitting on the side. I was like, okay, that's not my game. I'm just gonna sit there and not get involved in that. But I think when you're refereeing the game and you're trying to, you're trying to manage it and trying to, I mean, you're responsible for it. Mm-hmm. And so, you don't want guys to mess it up. I mean, okay, you threw a punch, but I'm gonna keep him from throwing a retaliatory punch, or if we can break this up before, everything blows up. I think that's just part of being the referee and being, taking ownership of a game, is you're going to put yourself in harm's way without, really thinking about that. I mean, I think the smart thing would be, no, just go ahead. You guys do it, and sometimes it may get to that point where you just go, okay.
Yeah, it's
start taking names, like whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like well, not almost like, but it should never get to this point. But hockey,
Oh yeah,
how the referees don't have to, they have to let them hash it out, and then everything else,
Right.
everyone's safe.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't get to that point.
No, I don't think it would. No.
But last question of the quick fire questions: biggest difference between Division 1 and Division 2 officiating in terms of the level that you see, and is there a difference for you? Not how you approach the games, but what is the difference that you see immediately between the two?
So, I mean, again, do the pregame, get in there, we talk. I mean, everything is still the same way. I mean, whether I went and refereed a middle school girls game, I would still walk on that court and, try to figure out who the players are. I mean, I refereed I refereed a JUCO game this last year and hadn't seen either one of these teams, but I still went to the coaches and said, Coach, who are your guys that you need on the floor? That if they go off, I mean, help me know who your guys are.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay, thank you. And just having an awareness of those guys. So even for me, that our work, our professionalism, it doesn't change per Division 1, per Division 2 level. And obviously that's not for everyone. I mean, but that's this guy. You asked me the question. So when I walk in the gym, there's not a difference. We're going to referee the same no matter what. You may find a difference. The size is the higher up, but you'll find that even in Division 1, a mid-major compared to a Power 4 conference. I mean, there's a size difference.
Yeah.
There's a depth difference. But there's still, I mean, but the game is still just as important to the Division 2 as it is to Division 1. And so you can't go in there and not give it the same respect that it's needed, because the players put in the work, the coaches put in the work, and your reputation is still, your credibility is still on the line. I mean, because if I go mess up a game if I go referee a Division 2 game and I mess that game up, that clip is going to be shared with this referee. It's going to be shared with that referee. It's going to get around. So you just can't, nowadays, you can't take anything for granted, and you just go do your job and do the best of your ability no matter what level. But now that's the transfer portal has made Division 2, I mean, I think probably more competitive just with just back stacking of talent, and they needed places to go. And so I think it's definitely made Division 2 a better brand of basketball. Has been you've been able to see better athletes kind of come through there.
I'd like to transition from that, from the quick fire questions to the transfer portal, which is not a question that I was actually going to ask, but now that you mention it, there's a good way of what I'm seeing as well, or what I'm hearing. I'm in the portal. I can say that now at this time. Hopefully when this is posted, I'll have a new school. But I'm in the portal, and the portal is only a platform that is official from the NCAA. Before it was a open portal where players themselves found different places. Agents themselves as an agent, contacting coaches. I mean, even with the portal, you still have to contact the coaches that you want to play for, or schools you want to go to. But as you said, it's become more competitive because you're seeing, when you leave a school, you automatically go in the portal. You enter the portal through compliance. And from there, most players would think in any sport, even when I entered the portal, I was like, oh, which coach is already going to check this portal? There's thousands of players, hundreds. When I entered the portal, I got emails instantly because players are always checking the portal. I go into the athletic department and I'm overhearing conversations with the basketball coaches. We're going to go on this meet today, but, oh wait, let me go check the portal. I was like, wow, like that's cool. You know, they're competitive in what they want to find, the talent they want to find. Division two is getting to that point where it's even more competitive. Will you ever consider maybe, okay, you're NCAA Division One coach of 90% of your games? Would you ever, would there ever be a case where you like change that percentage and go back to Division Two?
I think there are still a lot of rungs. Like I said, there's still stuff that's ahead that you know, things that I'd like to continue to build on and get an opportunity to do at the Division One level. So yeah, I don't know as far as once you get there. I think hopefully there are many more years of refereeing at the Division One level. Again, we can't control any of that, but hopefully there are. And if that door was shut, I mean, it would definitely be a conversation with the fam, and you know, at that point, my kids may be out of school, and that may have other stuff interest, but how's the body, you know, or whenever I'm done with Division One, but yeah. We will cross that bridge when we get there, and hopefully it's a long ways away.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, there's no home and away games for you necessarily, but let's start with games that are close to home, and I'm gonna say, what do those typical game days look like if it's at home in Bethany? Because we spoke about an away game, or even outside of, not too far away from Oklahoma, but Bethany, you said it's the same routines, but the feeling and you get to have your family there, I assume.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, the anytime there's a local game, games are in the evening, so you still have, I mean, I'm still barbering, so you know, I'll cut hair till, you know, you still have your home responsibilities of getting the girls to school, walking the dog, you know, doing some haircuts because I can. Not that I had to, but I'm home, so I can do some haircuts. So do some haircuts, go home, shave, clean up, get ready for the game. And then you know, drive wherever to the game, try to meet up with partners, but drive to the game. But working a game at home is a lot tougher from getting stuff ready, just because there's so many other things that are in the works. Where when I go to, you know, whatever, Ohio to referee a game, I got my bags with me. It's just me. I get there, I do this, I mean, it's just me I have to worry about. But like I said, when I'm at home and there's that close game, or even like Oral Roberts is one that that I'll drive to, and you know, so again, kids' school, walk the dog, cut some hairs, clean up, drive there with a buddy or my family, you know, referee the game, and then afterwards we're eating somewhere, and then we got to drive back. I mean, there's just so that's where being away is almost easier to be in a routine and all that, because when you're here, well, now you're trying to do this basketball routine, but you've got all these other responsibilities or things that you know you should be doing as well. So.
Now, as we begin to wind down, and I can be a bit more transparent about how I am taking on this, I guess, passion of mine, be doing podcasting and interviewing exceptional individuals in sport. That's in the bio of the podcast, but I can be more transparent and say how I do things. Basically, I send you the questions to prepare you and also for you to approve the questions before coming onto the show and before I press record. I think that it has helped a lot. won't go into too much the detail how everything else works, but I do that so that we can create a foundation of what I can ask you and what I can't ask you, so that we both of us don't get in trouble, you know, but also so that we create an understanding of, okay, we want to talk more about this area and not too much about this area. And I find that what I'm able to do there, it also creates a relationship and a trust with the guest. So we covered a lot of information that was really, really, really good, and I was excited to just ask more questions and to learn more about the experience. But we rearranged the questions a little bit. And one of the things I wanted to, now that we're unwinding and reflecting now, this part of the podcast, who are you? Because I asked you that as the first question, but who are you outside of being a barber, being a referee, which is your passion, and now the last thing you said was about your father and your husband, but now your purpose, the last P. Let's speak about that journey for a second, and how that has shaped and also has been shaped by you refereeing and barbering.
Yeah. I mean, I am a better dad. I'm a better person because of the journey of refereeing, because of adversities faced. I mentioned the three things that happened in my career where it's like, if this would have happened, you know, and that hurt for a little while. Like, should I have done something? You know, question that. If this happened, where would have went? And the last one, you know, where I missed a meeting. So I'll tell you the story. If that's all right. So refereed my first NCAA national tournament game. This is during COVID year. There was actually another story before there where I gave life to a certain situation. It didn't happen. I gave life to, you know, an opportunity that was said this is going to happen. So this is the best thing, you know. I gave words to that, like this emotion to that. Mm-hmm. Well, then it didn't happen because COVID happened. So, and I was hurt, you know. But then went through the season of that COVID year, and I ended up working a conference championship game, and ended up getting selected for the NCAA tournament when only 60 officials. Usually right now there's 109 referees that make it, but because COVID, they did it in a bubble, and there were only 60 referees. So what I thought was, you know, this opportunity didn't happen.
Yeah.
We worked through that season, and I refereed in the tournament, and it's like, okay, God, like, you got this. Like, you know, this is providential. This is, you know, me. Why was I high and low with this? Well, then the next season comes around. We have meetings, and I was blinded to the fact of what time the meeting started. And I say that because I had a conversation with the guy, and it didn't come up. I didn't ask. And then this is when Zooms were the first part, because all the meetings were Zoom meetings, where now they're in person. They've always been in person. Now they're back to being in person. But I was late to the meeting by 2 hours. I went to church, went and had lunch with my family. I was like, let me get on early here. Well, the meeting had already started. And so I was late to that. Well, what that did, that made me ineligible to work the next year's NCAA tournament. Really? So, I mean, you talk about, like, so I sent the email, this happened, I get a phone call from the boss, and he's like, Brian, what happened? This is it. And, okay, well, yeah, I guess no tournament for you this year, whatever. And you talk about, like, seeing stars. I mean, I was in a fog when we had a birthday party to go to, and so went to the birthday party. I was in the biggest fog you could ever be in. So go through that, but through that scenario, wow. I mean, the Proverbs 3:5-6, and it's another thing. when I met you at Southern Nazarene, and I'm talking about priorities, purpose, passion, all those things. When I walk down the stairs, you have verses that are on the walls of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
As I walked down, there was my verse. Proverbs 3:5-6 is on that wall. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding.
Which wall is that?
So when you walk in the gym, not the main part, but where the stairs are.
Yeah.
And you walk up those stairs, that verse is
right there.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my journey. That's my story. That's my that's my experience with, if I share something, it's like so having that. So in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. And so it's like it took that scenario to hit me like that's life. Like I can't control this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I giving? I'm giving, if this good thing happens, well, I'm the one that's making it that good. I mean, yes, it's good. Be excited.
Yes.
But don't get emotionally high to where the drop, is that far. I mean, we can keep it right here. That stoic type deal. I mean, that's. I've read more books when I got out of college than I did my whole time in there, and a lot of that shaped kind of some thinking, or at least just going, that's where we fit in there. Mm-hmm. But through life's journey, I mean, knowing that it may not always go the way we want it to, and when that adversity comes, are we able to trust in the Lord with everything we have, no matter what goes on, and so then we continue on, and now how that has impacted my family. I mean, I got daughters that are going through life stuff, injuries in high school, not able to play for a season, like friends, situations happening.
Yeah, high school things.
Not stuff that they want to happen. Mm-hmm. And now I'm able to speak, like, babe, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things in this refereeing thing that I have no control over. Boss changes. I mean, we can continue on, mm-hmm. but as far as just boss changes and I've had plenty of them, and all that I can't control. I wouldn't want that, or you have difficult situations or stuff that didn't happen, but it's like I was able to speak to my daughter and go, hey, just hold on, like there's a plan here, and you don't see it, but so refereeing has definitely helped shape who I am, and it's where even in the barbershop, I mean, being able to, I love the moments where a guy comes in, and it's happened 5 or 6 times where someone comes in the barbershop, and it's just one of those holy moments, like they share, they open up, and I got to let them know, like, hey, look around, like it's just me and you here in the shop.
Yeah,
we're a walk-in barbershop. Anyone could have walked through those doors, but they didn't. And we were able to have this conversation, like this is meant to be. Like you're here for purpose, and which lets me know, like, what I'm doing, there's value there, and there's I'm where I'm supposed to be on that with both the refereeing and the barbering.
I'll be completely honest with you. I am always so hesitant. I wouldn't say always, but let's say I am hesitant often for including religion in the podcast at first, because I'm on my journey of learning more about my faith and how I can get more involved as well. I was, when I was a kid, I used to go to church more often than I did when in my teens and growing up. I wouldn't say my parents are definitely not bad people. You're great people. They love like everything. But I'm saying we weren't exposed to that. Me and my sisters, we weren't exposed to that during our teens. But coming to SNU, I took on the oath that I made. Okay, you're gonna play soccer. You're gonna go to school, get a degree, but you're also gonna be involved in Christ-like practices. Mm-hmm. And I took it on. I didn't say, okay, well, I have to go to church, chapel two times a week. Mm-hmm. No, honestly, I'll be completely honest. I I want to explore this. I want to explore this. And I go to church every Sunday on my own, and with a group of, as well as small group. And I will still say I am still hesitant. I'm hesitant of including religion just based off of how it's received. And I know because this is for everyone to see, and not everyone thinks of religion wherever you believe in this the same way, which is why it's always, I don't describe it as controversial, but others describe it as a controversial topic. But what I've realized is, speaking with every guest so far, they're not released yet. They'll be released when this is posted, but each guest has either directly or indirectly applied and spoke on a Christ-like or faith, their faith. And it was interesting to see, for example, the first guest, she spoke directly on it, and we had a nice conversation before and afterwards. The next few guests, some did, some didn't, based off the questions I asked them. But then what I realized when I watched back the edits, 2 hours long, editing them is ridiculous. But I'm watching them late at night, and I'm like, wow, like, he spoke on this, or he or she spoke on this, and it relates with what I am learning about faith. And I sit there and I'm like, wow, like, I'm even more intrinsically motivated to learn more. And now, getting more research done on you beforehand, I knew that I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I knew it would help me, and I knew it would help others who may be a bit on the fence about this topic. Right. That's invaluable. That's invaluable. And we're unwinding, we're reflecting now, and I thank you so much for not just sharing your experience as a referee, which is your passion, your profession as a barber, your family as who you are, and then your purpose. That is invaluable. So, Brian, I can call you Brian.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again. I say this at the end. But the last question I have for you is, what's next? What's next for you?
Man, whatever the good Lord has for us. I don't know. I don't. I walk by faith. Probably to if you could do it by fault, but I think it's that childlike faith that I've had so many circumstances in my life where when I try to get involved and I try to plan and I try to do like God says, hang on now.
Yeah.
Hang on now. I mean, me coming to Southern Nazarene, I had plans. I was going to go play football somewhere else.
Really?
Broke a collarbone. And we talk about the providential deals. That's when it started. And I just go, okay. I mean, that was one of the first things where it's like, I threw out there my plan, and God said, no, I got something else.
Yeah. I'm
going to stop dating people. I'm going to focus on this. Okay. Here's your wife.
There you go.
I'm gonna do this. Okay, well, how about this?
Yeah.
I mean, and so, I mean, just thankful for today. And I mean, what's next for me? I'm going to a track meet on Friday. I get to watch my daughter do track.
Excellent. The 14-year-old.
Yeah. That's what I'm excited about next. But yeah, we'll just continue the journey and see what the good Lord has for us. So
excellent. I love that. Brian, again, thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
Thank you. The camera's still on, but yeah, that's it.
That was beautiful.
That's all I have for you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much.
Thank you for letting me speak what matters most to me, or matters most. So what's most important. Yeah.